I'm going to try this again. I have done 3 tries at it, phone call, a couple other things. So this is my 4th attempt at making this video. I'm going to get right into it. It is dark and it is a beautiful morning, but it's very dark. So anyway, let's get into it. Good morning. Anyway, 2 really big tips I want to give for DoorDash. If you're running DoorDash, here are my 2 biggest tips. If there's a tip I'm going to give you, these are it. And I just said that 10 different ways. Anyway, rabbit. Tip number 1. Unless you're going a quarter of a mile and you know they're not going to give you a bad review, I do not do no tip orders. Period. And no ands, ifs, fors, nors, buts, periods, nothing. I do not do them. My one exception is if it's within like a quarter mile, half mile, and it's right down the street from a bunch of restaurants where I might be going from this McDonald's past this Dunkin' Donuts and dropping off right here. Just for an example. That would, or I go from McDonald's to Dunkin'. And the only reason why is because most likely I'm going to have a Dunkin' order at Dunkin' Donuts, especially in the mornings. So that would be an exception. Other than that, no tip orders do not get taken. If you have a $2 peak pay, that would make the order like $4.25 or $5, depending if a bunch of people turned it down or not. Again, if there's a $2 peak pay and it's $2 or $3, which would make that $4 or $5, I will not take it unless I don't think about it and I don't realize it's peak pay. I've done that a couple times where I started my run not even seeing that it's a peak pay, and I run it. It's a $4 or $5 order. It's not going very far. I'm like, okay, drop it off. No tip orders. Those are exceptions. But outside of that, do not run no tip orders. They're the ones that's going to give you the biggest trouble. 99% of the time, those are the ones that are going to give you the trouble. 99% of the time, those are the ones that are going to give you the bad reviews. 99% of the time, those are the ones that's going to come up with whatever excuse to try to get free food and blame the driver, even though that's not his fault. I've got big shoulders. I can handle it. It's not a big deal. But I also don't want to go through the trouble of knowing that something's out of my control and I'm not getting in trouble for it. A lot of times I will call DoorDash. If I do get one of those by accident, I will usually call up DoorDash, say, here's the scenario, here's what's going on. Don't blame me if something bad happens. Okay. Not quite that scenario, but you get what I'm saying. But do not take no tip orders. Period. It's an insult. They're going in the app and putting in there that they don't want to tip you. They can't just hit a no tip. They have to actually hit custom tip and go in there and punch 000 for a no tip order. They give you options for tips, but zero money and tips is not one of the options. So it's an insult, and it's, we're putting our time and effort into it, and to not give us anything, no, not happening. So that's number 1. Do not take no tip orders. I cannot stress that enough. Because the other thing is, if you take a no tip order, you're also telling the customer, it's okay not to tip. It's not okay. We get paid based on our tips. If we have to go clear across town for no tip, and it's like a 20-minute drive, both ways, one way, regardless, depending what town you're in. A smaller town, it might be both ways. Might be less. But don't take no tip orders, period. Tip number 2, and this one I have found works really well with the ratings. I have a 4.99, and the one order that's a 4.99, I dropped it off. The person wasn't answering the door. I was ticked off. And it started to rain while I was standing outside. They kept saying 1 minute, and finally I said, I'm putting on the doorstep. It's raining. I'm done. Period. End of story. Whatever. The guy was purposely making me wait. They were on the side. He was streaming. Okay, you ordered food. You want me to get the door. You better be ready to get the door. It's the one time that I won't say I lost my temper, but I pretty much told him I'm leaving it right here and I really don't care. I am soaked. And I was mad. So, but the tips, I ended up getting 4 stars out of it because I was mad and I let him know it. But I did my job. He had everything he had. The bag was sealed, so everything I said I was going to do, I did do. But anyway, and what he did was unexcusable. I do not excuse people that want to do streaming and they say, hand it to me, but they don't want to stop what they're doing just so they can get their food. And if it's raining, that's going to tick me off. I've got better things to do than to stand there for 20 minutes waiting for somebody to get a door. Now, there is things I can do. I have a 3-knock rule. I knock 3 times. If I knock the 3rd time and I answer the door, I leave it at the door. I don't care about the timer or nothing else. But that's a bonus tip, I guess, is when you get to a customer and says, hand a customer, start your countdown. Go into cannot hand order to the customer. There's a button for that. You hit it, it gives you a 5-minute timer. If you're trying to get the order to the customer and you get that 5 minutes, I will knock 3 times. I won't give them 5 minutes. I will knock 3 times. At that point, I will leave a message. I will give them a picture, and then I will turn around and mark as completed. Because that's my timer. I got to make money, and I cannot make money if I'm standing there waiting for somebody to get the door. But that's my bonus tip. But my final tip, and this is going to be very simple, is if I go to apartment complexes, I mark down I'm high risk, which is actually true, but I mark down that I'm a high risk, and I will not go inside apartment buildings, and I ask them to respect my choice, and I will put it inside the door, but I won't go up the steps or anything if it's an inside building. I do it. I have a pre-typed in there so that way they know. It's real polite. It's just due to high risk, I do not take stuff inside up to doors, inside of buildings. I will put it inside your door. Thank you for understanding. That works. I usually get okay, that's no problem. And another bonus tip, if I'm going to a hotel, I'm like, can you meet me I asked for them to meet me at the door, so that way they don't have to wait and I don't have to wait. And I'm like, by doing it that way, we both get what we want and they get their food faster. And they're usually okay with it. Not always, but usually. So that usually works. So that's a bonus tip. But communication with the customer is huge. When I am done with my order, before I complete my order, the first thing I do, and again, it's one where I just hit the paste button, not a clipboard, and I don't go to clipboard, I just hit paste. And I make sure it's my most popular one, or my very first copied one, so that way I can just paste it and it's real quick. I go to text, and I text them a message. Again, it's already pre-saved, so I just have to paste it. But it pretty much says, thank you I really enjoyed bringing you your food. I'm trying to think what it says. But basically it says, I enjoy bringing your food, and I thank you for choosing me to do it. Hope you have a great day. And if you can, give me a 5-star, please. Real simple. I think I put more words in it than what is actually in the text, but you get the point. But I try to say something very pleasant to the customer and say thank you for choosing me, and give me a 5-star and have a great day. Very simple. It's again, it sounds complex, but it's real simple. If I can text them, I will, as I'm getting out of the car, I will get on my phone with me. I will text that to the customer as I'm walking up to the door. Number one, it gives them a clue that I'm already there before I do anything else, before I even get on my car. And then number two is the fact, as I'm walking up, sometimes they come to the door as I'm getting there. And if they don't, then I send a picture, I send them, I complete the order, I walk away, whatever. But it's showing that I care. It's showing that I'm giving my best effort. And it's also showing that I am doing the best job I can do, and I appreciate the customer. Even if I'm ticked off with the customer, even if they won't answer anything, no matter the situation, I text every customer that, because it shows them that I care. And I kind of manipulate a little bit so that way I get the reaction I want from the customer, which is, we're happy. You did the best you could, and we're happy with that, and that's all we ask. That's typically what the customer wants, is to know that we're doing the best we can for them. So that's my tips for you for DoorDash. If you are starting off, if you're a veteran DoorDasher, these are tips that I've learned over 6 years. I actually had a friend of mine that I was talking to the other day. I took him out to lunch, late lunch, early breakfast, early supper, I don't know what you want to call it. But either way, I took him out and I told him those tips I do. And he's one of those guys that only puts up with so much, and he was fed up with it. And I'm like, if you do this should make a difference. He said he'll try it. So anyway, I gotta get gas. Please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. It don't cost you a thing. It takes you about 1 second to just find that thumbs up button, hit the button, and you're good to go. You guys be blessed. Have a great day. Hopefully these tips really help you. Bye.